Hey, global thespians, welcome in. Thanks for coming back to the Kevin E. the channel. I am Kevin E. West, veteran television actor, of course, also founder, president of the business education award-winning organization, the Actors Network, and we call this content Q-tips because it's about the absolute expertise of the business of show business, and I am Kevin E. West, KUW Q-tips, and I today am the man in black. Now, being from the South, this is like a Johnny Cash day. But since I'm a golfer, I could also call it a Gary Player day. And if you don't understand either one of those, it's completely fine. Makes no difference. We are in the middle of the P series, which I just absolutely flippin' love because I love all the P's. They're very, very important. You will hear me spit them out in pieces through every single thing that I do. But it's best to codify them all in one particular set of sections at once, so you can always go back and refer to them. And today, the P that we are on is the proactivity. And oh, I can hear the exhale of like, oh, right now. Why? We hate proactivity. This is why I talk about the fact that in general, we don't particularly care much for the business, which again, I completely understand. And I use the word hate lovingly with a laugh and a smile and a tongue and a cheek. Some of you guys may like it more than others. Most of it, we don't particularly care for. But the reason is, why? Why don't we care for being proactive? Well, I've come to the belief system after 3+ decades of talking with us and coaching us and educating us that it's mostly because when we're being proactive as actors, number one, we think we're selling ourselves. And I'm sharing with you, there is nothing about being proactive as an actor that should ever make you feel like you're selling yourself if you're doing it philosophically in the way that I want you to. But when we don't, it creates anxiety and it just makes us not want to do it. And then we avoid it, we dismiss it, we get out of the habit and we never do it again. And this is the sort of chain of events that occurs with me talking about or using the hyphenated word proactivity. So please know that that's a real important principle of being proactive. It's not about selling yourselves. Yes, I use the phraseology boots on the ground, right? It's an old colloquialism. It's something that we've talked about a lot because all of us want to be boots on the ground. I'm going to get after it. I'm going to go for it. Cool. I'm going to be forward thinking. I'm going to be proactive man. And I watch that a lot as the president of the Actors Network. I've seen this a lot. It's kind of like, and again, just bear with me on the analogy here. If you happen to be a lady, and it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is, but when you say, oh, I'm attracted to a strong partner. Really? Until you have one. And that's something also I've seen a lot in my life. A lot of men talk about wanting a strong woman as a partner until they finally actually have one. So a lot of us get very jazzed up or we get very vibed on doing and being proactive until all of a sudden we realize what being proactive actually takes. Why? Again, why? Well, reason number 3 is because I've identified over the years 45 to 50 individual areas of industry, which is in my book. It's a chapter, and I talk about it. It will be on one of the videos. That you could possibly make a living at as a career option for money as a performer or an actor. And when you think about 45 to 50 different careers, Kevin, underneath the umbrella of being a performer actor, yeah. The thought of trying to be proactive towards that is overwhelming. Totally get it. No question. So I have this for you. And yes, there's always, like I said, that's why I do these in the order that I do them. There's always a little bit of principle, philosophy, psychology in everything I discuss. So my proactive philosophy and psychology about that is sometimes the best option to being proactive is to start out by deciding what you don't want to pursue first, and then decide what you do want to pursue. And what I mean by that is, you've already heard me discuss the process, right? Well, let me be clear with you guys. I mentioned this earlier. I did every daytime television show in Los Angeles except for Days of Our Lives. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't pursue them. The process, my representative got me an audition and I accept that audition and go do the job. I'm talking about being proactive with what you choose to pursue. I never chose. I didn't want to pursue daytime television because we have a limited amount of time, but I'm certainly willing to audition and do it as a job. That's the difference. That's how you gotta view proactivity, okay? Because you don't have enough time. Proactivity is tasks, but it's gotta be versus unique actions. There's tons of tasks that are technically kind of being proactive. But what you're going to get from me and what you're going to get from this content is you're also going to get a lot of unique ideology and unique ideas of actions you could be taking in the way that you take them to be proactive that nobody else may have ever brought up to you before. Like I said, it's always the difference between the task of having to edit your demo reel versus the creative, proactive pursuit of how you're going to get people to watch your reel when there's 500 hours of content uploaded to YouTube, I think every minute or I think every hour of every day, 500 hours every hour, something like that. It's absurd. So that's the difference in terms of being proactive. It's not doing the task. It's the pursuit of what that task can render. So this is a huge part of this. So use some mental substitution about proactivity. We do this in our craft sometime. We substitute an old life experience for something we're going to draw upon to do a particular character, a particular role. Cool. That's cool. Okay, so do the same thing with being proactive. A huge part of being proactive is beginning to really stop and substitute not what you're thinking, but think about what they're thinking first, and then create your action and your plan. There you go. Do it based on where they're at. I do this in corporate speaking. Who's your audience, man? Because being proactive to a producer, being proactive to a director is different than being proactive towards a manager or a casting director. I promise. It's not the same stuff, okay? The good part is, of course, it's never too late. It's not. It's never too late to be a successful performer. It's all good. You could just do it smarter now. Listen to what I have to say, go back and do some things over again. But I do have the philosophy, you got to pursue your career in some way, 49, 50 weeks out of the year. It's not about how many hours you're spending, but you got to be proactive all the time. You just can't do it as a glut project 4 or 5 times a year. This is something in a rhythm, just like staying in shape or fitness or anything else, okay? But this is one of the things that I found about proactivity, and don't get mad at me. Don't get mad. This is a moment where you don't get mad at Kevin. Don't get mad at Uncle Kevin. But are you sure you're ready? Because one of the most important things I discovered about people being proactive is they could make a phone call, they could walk in a door, they could ask. But ultimately in the back of their mind, I found and discovered they were actually afraid it would work. Because a lot of what I'm going to share with you, a lot of what I want you to do to pursue your career, it's going to work. And if it works, then guess what happens? Then somebody looks at you like they did at me way back in the day and go, fine, I've got 10 minutes. Here's your script. Be ready. That literally was done to me regarding a pilot years ago about Disney that I just walked into somebody's office and got. So you have to be ready with your craft, with your skill set, with your confidence that if you create the opportunity, you can stand in the light of the opportunity. That's part of what the value of being proactive is if you're ready, okay? Like I said, true proactivity is the same as the metaphors I use all the time about grocery shopping and shoe shopping. It's like you can walk into a grocery shop, but you're not going to buy everything in the greens section or everything in the deli section or the bakery section. You got to pick and choose, man. It's the same as, the house metaphor. It's like the house is the house. There's lots of different rooms and lots of different furniture and lots of different... Guys, you can't sit in all of them all at once. You have to be intelligent with proactivity. That's why I will be doing all sorts of stuff with regards to game planning. But after all that's said and done, there's number one main thing that proactivity is all about. And it will always be about this, and it's about meeting people. 90 seconds of you talking to somebody is worth more than 100 electronic submissions. Trust me on that. So always gear your proactivity eventually to be that somebody knows your work, they meet you by watching your work, or they meet you in person, even if it's only for 90 seconds. Because you want to create associations which then lead to opportunities. And that is the entire point of being an intelligent, proactive actor regarding the business of show business. Okay? All right, y'all. That's the P for proactivity. Man, my whole library is almost about proactivity, so you're going to hear a bunch more of this stuff. Go to kevinewest.com, the blog, like, subscribe, share, friends, enemies of friends. Follow me on Instagram. I'm all jazzed up. I'm the man in black. It's a Johnny Cash day. We'll see y'all real soon.